Hi everyone, good morning. So I'm going to do this. My name is Belinda Fernandez. I'm a speaker with John Maxwell, and I'm doing the next chapter of the Charismatic Leader. So the chapter today was on getting to know people and basically getting to know what's important to people, finding out what matters to them. Because when you find out what matters to people, you find out what's important to them, you learn about them, you learn about their goals. When I mentor people, and usually I mentor women, not men, I find out about them. So they tell me about their personal lives, they tell me about what their goals are, what they dream of doing. They tell me about their hurts, what has brought them pain in their life, because that shows me what they care about. They tell me about their hobbies, because that shows me what they enjoy. So I have a well-rounded approach. I don't just approach it with their career goals. And by getting to know them and asking questions, I can get a better understanding of who they are and what they would like to accomplish. For some of us, not all of us, but for many of us, life does throw us curveballs. So I could tell you I dream of being an entertainer. I dream of traveling around the world singing. But that's not likely to happen because I know that my age is against me now. And I know that I don't have the resources and the skills to be promoted in that way. So I do what I can with my music where I am. And sometimes we have to accept limitations. But that doesn't mean that we have to give up on our goals, on our dreams. We live in a world today where so much is available. Digital music is taking off. We live in a world where we can record ourselves at home and we can post it online. We live in a world where opportunities do come up. So I've had the opportunity to play in churches in Canada, in America, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, and I've taken those opportunities and I've run with them. So it's important to remember that. And on our teams, what we can do is we can establish common ground. So all companies have a vision, they have a mission, they have aims that they want to accomplish. And when we're working towards those aims, those common grounds, then we can use our dreams, our hurts, our talents to work towards that aim. Because let's be honest, not all of us are going to be Elvis Presley. Not all of us are going to have millions of people following us. But we can make a contribution where we are, and we can touch the hearts and the lives of those around us. And our small actions together do add up. So it's important to remember that. And also to remember that people change. So I'm not the same as I used to be when I was a teenager or when I was 5 years old. People change. We have different interests. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. And we also learn from the people around us because we can develop different coping strategies. We can develop from listening to others on YouTube. Even if we're on our own, we're not completely isolated because we have options. We can go onto social media. We can learn from other leaders. We can see how other people have coped to have gone through similar things to us. So we're very fortunate in that way. We're not living in an age where there's no internet, there's no access. And even if we didn't have that, we would still have books, so we can learn from reading. We can learn from reading fiction and non-fiction. There's always ways to develop, to change, to grow. And so in that way, once we get to know our team members and we get to develop those relationships with them, then we can help others, we can equip others. If we're only interested in ourselves and putting ourselves first, we're unlikely to get anywhere in life because life doesn't work that way. So there's a lot of things that can help people to change. Some people change because they get hurt. Some people change because they are loved. Other people change because they've learned enough. Other people change because they've received enough. So we look at what helps us to change, what helps us to grow. For example, for me, for Lent, I gave up Coke. And I say I gave it up because I love my Coca-Cola. I can drink it every day. It's the only thing that I really enjoy. So for Lent, I gave up Coke, and I didn't think I would be able to do it. But I've managed, and I haven't missed it. So that's a good thing. I also was only eating 1 meal a day. So when I eat now, I feel sick. I have to force myself to eat. I actually don't like eating. So if I have 1 meal a day, I'm quite happy with it, having supper in the evening. But now I have to force myself to eat. So I'm trying to eat breakfast. I'm trying to make sure I have something light at lunchtime. And I'm trying to have a light dinner, but I really don't like to eat. So that's one of the things that maybe is impacting my weight, because I was listening to Jane Fonda, and her videos are very old, but she had a section where she covered about how we eat and when we eat and why it's important to eat. So I listened to her, and I'm trying to incorporate some of that, because it's not just the exercising. I do a lot of exercising and I'm very fit in that way. But I'm trying to make sure that I eat as well. I don't like eating. Whether it's ice creams or chocolates or food or fruit or whatever, I don't like eating. I eat because I have to eat. And I enjoy my food when I do eat. I sit at the table. I make sure I savor it. I don't just gulp it down. So I eat carefully. But that's something that I've had to learn about, because I'm not somebody who thinks about eating. I like preparing my foods. I like preparing my meals. But I've had to change about the way I think about eating, because I've also got to think about the foods that are going to help me have more protein, bring my estrogen up, because with menopause you do put on more weight, even if you're eating properly. So that's something for me to remember as a woman. And also with my work. Even if I wanted to now, I can't work overnight, because it's a requirement for me to work during the day. So that's fine for me, because I prefer and I like working during the day anyway. And also with changing, when you work contracts like me, you're not like the CEOs sitting in their banks who have people sponsoring them, opening doors for them, helping them to get good paid jobs. Every job you go in, you have to start over as a beginner. So I might be the expert on one project that I worked on. When I roll off that project and I start the next one, I'm going in as a beginner. There's new relationships, there's new people, there's new systems, there's new goals, everything is new. And so if you're doing that over and over and over for your whole life, obviously it's going to take a toll. But you learn from each project, you learn from each job, you learn from each company, and then you have to move on, even if it hurts you, because it's not in your control. So that's what my life has been like. I haven't had the stability I've wanted. I haven't had the home I've wanted. I haven't been able to stay with one company and have the benefit of long-term relationships. So all that stress adds up on a person. If it's 1 or 2 years, it's different. But if it's going on for 20 years, 30 years, and you don't have any stability, you don't have any stable relationships in your life, it becomes very difficult. So how did I cope? I coped with my music. I coped with getting involved with HRPA, with keeping my designation up to date for HR. I coped through music. I coped through taking my walks and exercising. And I coped also with incorporating my faith as part of my journey. So those were my strategies. They may not be strategies for other people, but that's how I did it. Does it mean I gave up on my music dreams? No, it didn't. But I didn't have the money to buy my own piano. So what I used to do was, on my Saturdays or my free days, I would go downtown to the library, because you could book a room there and you could play the piano there. When I was a student at Regis, I used to go and play the piano because they had a student lounge. And they had a piano that was just sitting there. So they told me, if you want to play, you can come here. Just come on a Saturday or come whenever you're free. Most of the time nobody's here. You can play the piano. So I used to go there. And then when I moved into my place here, I finally got myself an electric keyboard. So those are the steps I took. And then I retaught myself the left hand. I retaught myself the notes. And now I can play. If you see me playing, you won't think that I never touched a keyboard for 20 years. But I didn't. So that's how I did things, because I'm not willing to give up on my dreams and my goals and what I want to accomplish. And that's what I encourage other women to do, is not to give up. I've had women who have come out of abusive relationships, women whose husbands have told them, oh, you look fat, look at you. Why, what do you think you are? I can go and get any woman I want because I've got lots of money. I used to tell them, just leave them. Let them say whatever they want. You focus on your goal, focus on getting your job, focus on getting your income, and leave them. And they've lost the weight, they've gone on to accomplish good things, getting into HR director roles, with my help and with my referral to agencies like Altus HR. And one of my mentees, Zara, she actually gave me a donation towards my GoFundMe that I set up, because she's one of the women that I helped. So what goes around comes around. And unfortunately, I didn't have women to do that for me. So I had to believe in myself and move forward. And sometimes that's what you have to do. But when you get to know others, when you're there for others, you expect them to be there for you in return. One hand washes the other. And so that's what I do when I mentor people, when I mentor women. I keep moving forward. And I hope that things will open up for me and I'll get a good paid job, because I deserve it. I've worked hard, I have many skills and talents, and I've done everything right to keep myself healthy, to keep myself motivated. I've been there for others, including the elders in the family. When I've gone home on trips, I haven't just not gone to visit them. I've spent time with them. I made trips to America. I invited my cousins for my 40th birthday. I've been there for them, so they can't fault me on anything. And if they're not interested in my life, they're not interested in spending time with me, getting to know me, what I care about, my values, my hobbies, what I enjoy, that's on them. Because there's other people who care about me, and there's other people who are interested, and it's their loss, because I won't make the effort again. And I've told everybody that now, including my mother. If they can't be there for me when I need them, they can't expect me to make the effort. Because just because I'm single doesn't mean I have an unlimited source of love to give, emotions to give. People expect me to be there for them, but they're not there for me. They say they have their reasons, including my sister. What reasons? You can't make time to visit your sister, to call her, to come visit her. And some people would cross oceans to go and see their sisters and brothers. So if they can't do that for me, I can't be bothered anymore, because my life is also valuable. And we have to know that we are also created in the image and the likeness of God. And we are worthy. If we put in the effort, we put in the work, we are worthy of having people's time, of having good opportunities, having good breaks, owning properties. Because why is it that people who commit crimes, they go and they get into counseling programs, they go on to accomplish great things. They go on to buy homes and properties and travel, and yet somebody like me, who's invested in Canada, who's invested in the community, who's helped people of all races, all religions, all backgrounds, and has helped people around the world with my talent, with my time, why is it that somebody like me doesn't get the break? It doesn't make sense. So, and they can't say it's spiritual. It isn't. It's man-made. Because God did not create me to land up dirt poor, constantly starting over, constantly being put into minimum wage. It's man-made. It's not God-made. So they can't blame God. This was created by man. And it was created by people who brought in the Great Reset, who said we would be happy renting, not owning. It's created by them. And why is it that, like that woman in Asia, she set up millions and she stole millions worth the amount of whole economies? How come somebody like her can get away with it? Yet somebody like me, who's living a good life, keeps getting tracked and followed and treated badly. It's not right. So it's up to us to change things, and that's what I'm doing as a John Maxwell speaker. And we'd love to have others join us, change things together. We are doing it, and we're not going to give up. And if the police want to keep tracking me and following me, saying it's my family, they're wasting their time and they're wasting their money. Because I didn't do anything to anybody and I don't deserve it. So waste of their money, they should stop.